Hey, thanks for joining me on this 30-minute-ish workout, movement prep, movement recovery to help you move your best, either before you go into play, maybe it's after you have done a strong or long workout, or even having a game the night before or that day. I want to give you the opportunity to move best no matter when it is. I realize that you can be doing simple, daily, everyday, normal activities from school to play to whatever enjoyment, and you can still get injured. Also, you can be training at your highest level and feel great one day, and then for some reason, feel not great the next day. So don't worry about a day-to-day thing. Let's work to find patterns of movement that work best for you, that help you to move your best no matter what you're doing each day. So we're gonna do some simple movements that you can do at any time and that can help you find value and find recovery no matter what you're doing. Realize that most of our movements come from an overstretched system, an overstimulated system, and we want to try to rebalance that system out. So it doesn't matter if you've been playing soccer or volleyball or track or whatever, you just moved your body well, and we want to continue moving your body well. This next exercises aren't going to take any extra equipment unless you want to for just some information purposes. Mostly just get a mat, get something to lean up against, and let's move together, and we'll feel better together as well. All right, let's go. Okay, we're going to start out with just a simple baseline check to see how you're doing. Remember, a baseline is to see how you're doing, so we can almost maybe see what movements do make us feel better, as well as might make us feel a little bit unbalanced. So let's just check a baseline movement. Simply reach down and touch your toes. Let your head drop if that's comfortable. Notice the back line of your body. If you can't comfortably touch the ground, I want you to bend your knees to be able to give yourself the best forward fold you can, and then bring yourself back up. Even notice what it feels like to bring yourself upright again. So you've checked your baseline, you've seen what your body sees, you know what your body knows, and you know where you're starting. Let's get moving. We're going to start with about 10 breaths, and then we're going to move into eye movements and to head movements, and then we're going to do some contralateral movement as well. So put your tongue against the roof of your mouth, mouth closed, and let's breathe deeply through our nose, moving into our diaphragm. You can have your hands down, legs out, whatever's most comfortable for you. Beginning moving your eyes, looking up towards your eyebrows, maybe lifting your chin, tuck your chin into your sternum, and roll your head upright. Just nod your head. Continue with your tongue against the roof of your mouth and your mouth closed, and be careful not to move into pain. You might bump up against it, but we're not trying to push through the pain. And then turning eyes left and eyes right, also letting the head follow the movement. Remember, go as slow as it's comfortable. And again, you're looking for how your body just moves and acquires this movement. Still keeping your tongue against the roof of your mouth, mouth closed. Bringing your head center. Let's just start with a simple cross crawl. Remember, a cross crawl is really a contralateral movement, giving your body the best connection to both right and left sides of your body. Let's increase this load just a tiny bit by bringing the arms up overhead. And now touch your right hand to your left knee, left hand to your right knee. If there's any tenderness or pain in your shoulders, you can start with your arms a little bit lower. Let's increase this movement by adding in the dead bug. Now the dead bug helps to connect us to the front line of the body. And if we've had issues in our back, this can be part of that. We can help our back by connecting first to our front. So we're going to bring our right arm overhead as we extend the left leg out. And then the left arm overhead as we extend the right leg out. Notice I'm not letting my leg drop. Right now I'm just trying to find an even movement pattern. No matter what sport you're in, you're going to work both sides of the body in opposition to each other or in contralateral patterns. The body is designed like an X, and that X needs to work together through the midline of the body. Go ahead and grab your knees, pull your knees into your chest, give them a nice little squeeze. You can rock side to side to feel your back feeling more mobile. Hold those knees into your chest and then take your arms out wide to a T. Keep your tailbone slightly off the ground as you drop your knees to your right and to your left. You're trying to kind of not allow your opposite shoulder to move with your arms or come off the ground as you drop your knees in opposition to the way the knees are going. So as I move to my right, I want to keep my left shoulder down and vice versa. For this next one, I'm going to take my glasses off. This is called an egg roll. Pull your knees into your chest, bring your head up. I want to look with my head first, then roll my body, and then continue to look over my shoulder. Then look back up to my right shoulder, bring my legs up, keep looking to my right as I roll all the way to my right side. Look up towards my left, keep looking, keep my chin close to my shoulder, look over my shoulder, look up, roll, and rock. So looking kind of like an egg rolling side to side. Keep that ear down towards the floor. Look up, chin towards the sternum, and roll. Keep your ear rolling towards the floor. And try to move so your eyes move, then your head moves, then your body moves. From this position, we're going to come right back up. And you're going to roll like a ball forward. Rock back, roll forward. Now when we do this, it's nice because our spine gets a lot of nourishment. If you have a hard time, you can just drop back and come back up. You don't have to rock all the way back. You can rock back as best you can. One more time. And then we're going to stay upright. We've done these before. They're called 90-90s. Take your hands behind you to begin with, and let's drop the knees left and right. So when we move those knees right and left, left and right, we want those heels to stay on the ground, not our feet to stay flat as best we can. So we get as much rotation then around the hip as we can. And notice my legs aren't too close together. I want my knees far apart so they're creating a 90 degree and a 90 degree. Two more. Now I'm going to add my eyes and my head, make it a little bit more. Turn my head and then my legs. Look back over my shoulder and then go to the other side. Look as far around you can behind you, and then around back towards the front of your body. And then we're going to come all the way up. And our hands are going to be out in front. Let's start with our toes pointing back and then coming forward. We're just going to do a regular knees rocking. The beauty of knees rocking is it helps you learn how to focus on your breathing, not just your moving. And you can feel the weight of your body in your feet, your knees, and your hands, as well as your shoulders and your hips. So it's very contextual. It gives you a lot of information about how your body's doing. Keep that mouth closed, tongue against the roof of your mouth. Continue to breathe deeply and gently through your nose. Curl your toes under. Feel the spread of those toes. Remember, our big toe and our toes are super involved in our ability for speed and for bounding. And then we're going to go to a kickstand position. Take one leg out and sink back and hold. Now my toe is staying under behind me so that you can see I'm working in less knee flexion. If I want more, I can sink all the way back, keeping my head and chest up. Notice I'm not collapsing in my upper back. And now let's change legs. Bring my right knee in, start with my toes curled under, and you can feel this stretch on the inner thigh. So our muscles to our inner thigh are very integral in our running. They stabilize our hips and our pelvis and help actually more you mobilize and strengthen your hips, the less lower back issues you may find that you have. And then point your toe back. You can go back a little deeper. And then let's go to a half kneeling knees rocking. We'll start with our front knee forward and the hands on our hips. And then let's get a little bit lower, hands on the ground. You can feel how that shifts the weight further back into your leg. Then let's move the foot about half the distance back towards your front knee, or your back knee rather. And here my heel is coming up and I'm getting a little bit more motion in the front of my knee. And then let's move that foot another distance back. So my knee and my foot line up, and I'm going to drop into my knee and pull back. You can let that right knee go outside your midline. And then let's shift back to the second side. Knee rocking, half kneeling. Body's nice and tall, chest is lifted. And then go to your hands on the ground. And then let's pull that front foot back about half the distance. And you can see how I come forward again and my heel comes up. I can shift back into my hips a little bit more. You can go back as far as you comfortably can. And then let's go one more position, toe in line with knee. Drop all the way in and back, drop all the way in and back. Keep breathing, tongue against the roof of the mouth, mouth closed. And then let's come back to all fours. Sink back, nice and long. Take your right hand, look up towards your left shoulder, reach through, and then back to center. Take your left hand, look up towards your right shoulder and reach through, and then back to center. Reach, exhale, and back to center, and reach, and back to center. One more time here. And last time here. Now we're gonna go up. So we're gonna take our left hand, sit your body weight back, take your hands back, reach up, and then down. Look up towards your right shoulder, reach up, and then down. Look towards your left, reach up, and then down to your right, and to your left. Last time here. And then let's do a bird dog. Reach out right arm and left leg, pause, and then left arm, right leg, pause. So let's walk our hands back to our knees, roll ourselves back, and bring ourselves upright. Let's just recheck our baseline while we're here. Let's see if we're good, if we're better, or if we're at our best now. Drop your chin, roll down, and reach for those toes. And then roll yourself back up. I feel better. I feel more able, more connected throughout my whole body. Took me less energy to come down and hold down, and then it also felt better on the way back up. So let's do a little thing. If you have a chair or the wall or something that you can lean up against, we're going to move into another position where you can use some other tool to be able to help you stretch. We're going to start with our hands on top. So again, if this is a table, if this is a chair, whichever works better for you. Take both feet back, and you're going to sink back into what would be kind of like either a downward facing dog or a knees rocking standing. Come up onto your toes, sink back into your heels, up. Now if coming up onto your toes isn't comfortable, you can just rock forward and straighten out those legs, push your hips back. But see how my head is really in line with my hips? I'm not sinking my hips forward to try to get any upper back or lower back extension. And I'm still breathing with my tongue against my roof of my mouth. Now let's bring one foot forward, kind of like a single leg knees rocking. I'm just rocking back and forth. This is quite gentle and quite simple, but I'm just allowing my ankles to get a little bit more flexibility. And then let's switch and do the other side. And then let's go all the way back. Bring your elbows to whatever you're on. Bring your head back and let your head drop through. And just feel that stretch in the upper back and shoulders. Breathe. And let's bring ourselves forward. Now a great little stretch that we can do is a pigeon stretch, and you can do this leaning against a wall, cross your left ankle over your right knee, and then just hinge forward. You're thinking about bringing your body weight forward, not in towards your thigh. And then come back up. You can hold for 10, 20 seconds, maybe even 30 seconds. Let's switch. Body's nice and tall and fold forward. And then come back up. We can do the same thing on top of whatever you're standing in front of, the chair or the table or whatever. Take your leg and place it up and just hold, and then you're bringing your body weight forward. Notice my body, my torso is nice and long, my head's not hanging, and I'm still breathing through my nose. Bring myself up, slide my leg off, and let's do the other leg. Try to keep the foot flexed so that you're not putting more strain on the knee, and then come forward. Now you can see this is a little bit tall for me. And then come back up. And then let's do a standing hamstring stretch. So I want to bring my foot up, and I want to have my legs straight out from my hip. So instead of bending forward immediately, which would stretch the hamstring, but it could get me loaded into my lower back, I want to take my hip and roll it in, and then hinge forward. So I'm getting the outer part of my leg and maybe the inner part of my hamstring, a little bit more neglected of area. And then come back up. And again, bring that left leg up, stand nice and tall. Instead of just moving from the foot, I'm moving the whole hip in as if it's one piece, and then I'm pulling my hips back as I come forward. I'm not placing any weight on my leg, and I want to kind of think of a long, like I'm pulling toward the front of my foot instead of just dropping in towards my knee. And then come back up. And then we've got one of the best stretches that you can do for just about any sport, and it's referred to as the couch stretch. You're going to place your knee up, down on the ground with your toe pointing up as best you can, and then just sit as tall as you can. My right hand is on my right thigh pressing down. I can add to the length of the stretch by reaching up, and I want to make sure my lower back isn't particularly arched. It can be just slightly tucked. Coming out of it, just drop my back foot down, and let's come into the second side so you can see it a little bit better. So I want to have my knee as close to the wall or the couch or the chair as I can. Reach up, and my tailbone as comfortably tucked as I can. And then come down. Good. Let's just come down to a nice, simple, seated stretch with our feet bowed, or our feet together and our knees bowed. Hold the ankles and use the elbows to slightly press into the knees and tip forward. So again, I'm not trying for the ground necessarily. I'm just pulling my body weight forward. Good, and then come back up. So we're going to do a nice stretch that you might need a wall for. And you can do this without the wall, that's fine. It's just a different position to get into. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the wall. It's just a legs, it's just an inner thigh, outer hip opener. It's great for baseball, for track, for just about any sport. So you're going to be up on a wall. Pretend this is a wall. I have a wall here, obviously. Just so you can see me on my side. Get as close as you can to your wall. And you're going to be doing essentially the same movement with your hands inside of your knees. Now you're going to let gravity do the work here. And just let the weight of your feet drop through and your weight of your knees drop out. Now you can extend one leg and just feel the stretch onto one leg, or you can extend both on the wall and see if you can hang out there too, which is a bit bigger of a stretch. Now you're letting gravity open up those hips. Let's take those arms to a 90-degree position, kind of like the shape of an H. And you're going to slide your elbows over your head and pull your elbows down. You're just going to try to keep your rib cage on the ground. Don't let your back arch as you raise your arms overhead. And keep your forearms connected to the ground as much as you can as well. So while we're affecting the change on the inner thigh, we're also affecting change in the upper back and shoulders, kind of getting a benefit of two nice movements, kind of taking tension out of our hips lower back, and our neck and shoulders. And last one, all the way overhead and back down. Let's bring those knees together, hold, exhale, drop those knees to one side. Let's bring ourselves up. We're gonna recheck that baseline. Much better. And then roll yourself up. I hope this simple practice of some easy movements, some mobility, some lengthening movements, and some held movements will really feel like you've impacted your wellness and your health and your movement. Give it a try. Do it again tomorrow or the next day, and you can give yourself the best feeling you can when you actually add motion to the body. Because remember, motion is a little bit like lotion to the body. It smooths things out. Have a great day, guys.